They were doing so well. They had it in the bag, but of course, they failed. Just last year, they were killing it. The WWE was finally becoming cool again. You would see wrestling shirts outside, and it wasn't like a secret gated community anymore. I'd have so many convos with WWE fans. There was so much love in this fan base. Don't get me wrong, there still is. But every convo I'd have recently, we've all said the same thing. It doesn't hit like it did last year. Everybody sees this. But the problem goes a lot deeper than some think it is. Let's start with Triple H. So I made this video last year on why WWE was peaking again. I gave criticisms, but the overall message was positive. It only took 1 year. 1 year for them to soil this. And before anybody cries about this in the comments, no, I'm not a double agent. I just gotta say what's real. Triple H has definitely suffered from booking fatigue. Whenever I see him, he just looks like he hates the world. It's kind of funny. I was watching this AAA pay-per-view, which, by the way, one of the funniest shows I've ever watched in my life. But during their Battle Royal, they'd bring out a Santino Marella variant, and he was not going for this shit at all. There's been so many Triple H controversies, I know he regrets taking Shane's spot. It's gotten so bad that at a conference, he got asked about black talent being treated unfairly, and he said that he doesn't see color. I mean, this is a straight PR answer. I don't know what people thought he was going to say. The way you find out is just ask him his top 3 favorite black people. If he says Malcolm X and MLK in there, he's definitely racist, let's be honest. I don't think that's the problem though. I don't think he's racist. Simply put it, I think he's a bad talent scout. Look at the wrestlers he just let walk. Edge, The Hurt Business, Andrade, Braun Strowman, Paige, Cora Jade, Gigi, Matt Riddle, Dolph Ziggler, all these good names gone. Karrion Cross even. They almost let R-Truth walk too. Look at the names we got for Cena's retirement tour. Brock, Logan, Cody 3 times. He had to be begged to give us AJ, and word around town is Gunther is going to be Cena's last opponent. Yikes. I'd rather see Jeff Jarrett, to be honest. So yes, I would say he's a bad talent scout. He also tried to put Hit Row on, but he let Swerve go as well. And he's turning up in AEW. But let's talk about the godforsaken announcements. Every single Triple H announcement I've ever seen, it looks like he's being held hostage by you-know-who. The worst thing that I saw personally, though, was the Karrion Cross ordeal. So basically from what I remember, this happened after WrestleMania 41. So Cross cut a pipe bomb style promo straight after WrestleMania, and he cut deep. This was the realest shit I've heard in a minute. You could tell he was still putting wrestling first, but was still real emotion spilling out of him. I mean, he was mad for good reason. 20 years of wrestling experience to miss WrestleMania to a YouTuber that scams his fans. He also talked about the backhanded advice he got from Goldberg, saying that all you had to do was be a good soldier. And what that has gotten him so far is basically nothing. He was recently explaining this on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and he basically said it was a work with major miscommunication. By the way, look at the way Scarlett was looking at him. That is beautiful, I can't even lie. But after this, Cross was undeniable. Every week on social media, there was "We Want Cross" everywhere. Like, nobody really cared for him that much before this, but he elevated so much. It's crazy how much can change from telling the truth. But Triple H couldn't escape this, so after the SummerSlam post-show, the crowd started chanting "We Want Cross," and Triple H switched this and heard it as "We Want Brock," and he shooed them away, I guess. When I first heard this, I thought it was fake. This sounded so tone-deaf and was just out of left field. I was genuinely shocked he said this. So the number one rule of wrestling is to connect with the audience. He does that, and you let him go. But even crazier than that, Karrion Cross was a Triple H guy. Let's go back to 2020. So NXT in 2020 was mainly a skitty, indie mold of talent, where it was pure work rate guys like Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, guys like that. And Triple H brought in Karrion Cross, which is a complete opposite of an NXT wrestler in that time. And regardless of any criticism there was, Cross was there to stay. And he got the NXT title almost immediately. In 2022, Triple H took over booking, and he was looking for wrestlers to bring back because the same year, they released a lot of talent during that time. And he called up Cross, and within the same day, they made a deal, and Karrion Cross and Scarlett returned to SmackDown. They seemed like they were boys, but I kept thinking about it, and I think I know why. How much control does Triple H actually have? We've seen many Triple H names get fired, like Karrion, Dakota, Andrade, etc. So this leads into my next point. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think Triple H is the problem at all. It seems pretty obvious that it's TKO. Even from just watching the weekly shows, everything just seems dull, with no interesting storylines just going in autopilot. TKO has completely lost their minds, and I can't look at a match without seeing a cringy ass ad or some celebrity that no one cares about, no offense. but their soul is gone and the good vibes are gone. My bro spent bands going to WrestleMania 41. I saw a clip of Randy Orton talk about the ticket prices himself, and he couldn't believe that they were like over $30,000 for just a seat, like one ticket. When the wrestlers are coming out and acting like this, that's how you know it's going bad. The ticket prices are mad. The merch is cheap. The top draws feel like corporate catchphrase merchants. And by cheap, I mean like the fabric. It's terrible. They got ads everywhere on the show, but the worst case of WWE flaws would reveal at WrestleMania 41. Last year, we went from the greatest WrestleMania ending of all time to one of the worst. All year, they have been extorting John Cena's legacy to make money. Think of this as like a rapper signing a bad deal, because I have no other idea on how to explain this. Making 40 different variations of shirts, using his matches to go against AEW, missing out on key dream matches and have him get squashed by someone we all hate who's never there, have him get beat by Cody who's also never really there, to then moving his last match out of his hometown to have politicians there. But hey, who knows? Maybe he'll come out of retirement at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. What's a good match? Ooh, probably like Kurt Angle or The Undertaker. I don't know about you guys, but it just makes me mad. It seems like every move they make is just to piss us off. Having Triple H and Stephanie headline back-to-back Hall of Fames with the announcement being Undertaker risen up Stephanie in this awkward-ass segment. But let's go back to the actual wrestling. We got AJ Lee back. Let's go. Like, we got a true GOAT. Let's go. I'm fine with that. But go check out my AJ video if you don't know about her. That'll help you for sure. But unfortunately, back to the hating. Mainly every pay-per-view this year has been complete ass. Every champion has been booked horribly. And we got main stars faking injuries to get motion. These last few years have been very weird for WWE. Triple H only really got 1 year combined to show what he could really do. So mid-2022 to WrestleMania 39, he was finishing Vince's stories, then Vince forces himself back into creative, and then in 2024 we got the whole Final Boss saga, which changed everything. And then in 2025 we got the full TKO takeover. He's been held by the balls and never really getting a full chance to fly. I just don't buy that all of a sudden the guy that has been under the learning tree for 20 years has been seeing what to do and what not to do from Vince's mistakes is now just a clueless, racist booker. There's definitely red flags with Maven and MVP both speaking out against Triple H. I mean, we're completely used to this by now, but just think about it for a second. Everybody carries a bias. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't fit the mold or agenda, you won't be a top guy. That's just how it is. So I definitely see where these guys are coming from. Like, let's be honest. If you were running the show, there's definitely some people you wouldn't book. Like, me personally, I'm never booking Grayson Waller. I'm just not doing it, bro. But let's talk about a time when Triple H had no one to answer to, and this was in NXT. There was a time where literally anybody around this time could show up and become a star. Look at the busters he made into stars. Andrade, like a Velveteen Dream, Riddle, Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly, T-Bar, and so many more. No one on this roster weighed over 200 pounds, but they all felt larger than life. You know how crazy that is? Their system was so good that everybody was connected as a team. Hey, Browns, take notes, man. But you could ask anybody on that roster, it was a family. A question that always pops up, though, is how come they'd be so good in NXT, but they would go to main roster and be straight ass? We all thought it was just Vince with his bodybuilding syndrome, but it's not. It's still happening. For example, Carmelo Hayes. I can't name one good thing this guy has done since being on the main roster. He is kind of cringy though, so I'll give him a pass. But DIY, I'd say these two are literally two of the highest Triple H guys there are, and they have been irrelevant for years. Austin Theory. This guy has all the potential in the world and was on NXT back then, still nothing. I kind of hope they push him though. I'll make a video on him sooner or later. What about LA Knight? He came from NXT, captured the hearts of all the fans, but he's been held back so hard. So you see these bright names at NXT, and it just makes you wonder how, like, are any of them going to get pushed? There's got to be a reason. There's still so many top names at NXT, still redoing the same stories. I was doing some research for this video, and I found out that the head of talent relations is Chris Lengetil. This makes so much sense to me because what this does is negotiate contracts and just manages talent. When Cross went on that interview, he basically said his and Scarlett's contracts were not even close to the contracts that Triple H gave to them when they came back in 2022. And in 2022, Triple H and Karrion made a deal in 1 day. 1 day. It's been 2 months and still nothing. This to me told me everything I needed to know. None of this is Triple H's fault at all. He's just a fall guy puppet to take the blame. To me, this is all TKO. Look at how they break kayfabe so willingly for money. Something so sacred to the business, the number one rule of wrestling, a 100-year secret, was to not break kayfabe. The first year they come in, they make a show about it, and they rotated the whole WWE world upside down to make a storyline for a show. I mean, John Cena's whole run so far has been a cash grab. Look at how they put him against AEW, and even brought back an alleged abuser back to brew up a big match, and how they tossed up Cena's last match to the highest bidder. They sold out the goodwill for money. It's just how it is. Don't be shocked if a lot of wrestlers or fans go back to AEW. Look at this ESPN deal, for example. These subscription deals and paying for deals are going to kill your money supply quickly. If you're watching this video, please cancel your unneeded subscriptions, and kids, do not ever get trapped into the paying for traps. In 2026, just to be a WWE fan, it'll cost over $1,000 a year to keep up. Don't do this. You know it's bad when Stephanie McMahon is going on her podcast and telling fans to use a VPN. This is absolutely ridiculous, and any YouTuber not calling this out is a rat. That's all the corporate side though. What about the actual booking? Well, not many new stars have gotten chances, honestly. I can't name one title run that has moved me in any way since the Triple H era besides Roman, which was already 2 years into his run at that point. I mean, I'm not trying to hate, it's just the way it is, bro. The main wrestler to me that encapsulates the TKO era takeover is Jey Uso. Catchphrases have always been a huge thing in wrestling, right? No surprise here. But it's never been as noticeable as it is now. He toned down his in-ring ability tenfold, and his mic skills to spam yeet and sell more shirts. But it's not even a current wrestler thing. Even the legends aren't safe. Kevin Nash went on his podcast and exposed TKO for cutting the legends' royalty checks in half to save money. Do you know how insane that is? They're taking money out of the legends' paychecks to save their own money when they're making all this money from all these deals. That to me is top greed, bro. Oh my god, that is insane. They're even somehow making Undertaker look bad as they replace his other co-host, I think his name was Mark, for his wife Michelle, and nobody likes that. It's just non-stop controversy. This one is actually kind of funny. So Andrade, who by the way is another Triple H guy, basically got fired from failing wellness tests, right? So AEW wanted to get like a big shock value moment. So Andrade returned to AEW, and WWE shut that shit down so hard. Reportedly, this can't be real, bro. Andrade got hit with a 1-year non-compete clause. This is basically what the feds did to Lil Durk. This is a true WWE horror story. WWE is also going to a politic route like UFC. Basically, UFC is the biggest sellout company I've ever seen in my life. And they also folded to Israel over an NXT pay-per-view name. So yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in WWE. And if you have standard morals, you can see everything they're doing is wrong. With probably the worst being selling out WrestleMania. And this is just an assumption, but why are wrestlers like going out a year and coming back looking like Muscle Bob? Something's going on back there. They're using some juice or something. I don't know. But yeah, man. Anyways, I don't want to hate or spread any like crazy negativity. This is purely looking at what's obviously happening and calling it out. I really hope WWE can return to the good it was in 2024. I just find it telling that somehow TKO makes Vince look like a saint. But don't blame Triple H. I don't think it's his fault. We as fans have to call it out or we will be taken advantage of. But yeah, man, I think I covered a lot of it. The ad farming, the farewell tour, the ring being a billboard, and many controversies. Hopefully when TKO breaks their debt, we will be safe again, but I mean, we're already sacrificing this farewell tour. Anyways, subscribe, join the ride, say goodbye to AI, and this is the conduction of Brothers of Production.